everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 581. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
I'm Mako-chan.
And I'm BerryMelon.
And how is everybody doing tonight?
Doing okay.
Yeah, I feel that. And Barry, I have to admit, I gotta say, you're staring intently at your cup of tea. Is that a new tea you're going to try?
You know, the big joke in server is that it is the blood of my enemies. So, it must be spiked with something today.
So I'm going to assume you took somebody out and you're probably mixed it in there and you're probably determining who it is, you know?
Secrets will not be revealed, Ranma. You know, that's like the first rule of being a hitman.
See, first thing first, I wasn't expecting any to know your secrets or anything like that, you know, because between you and Mako, nope, no way, nope, no.
We do have some returning lovely listeners in chat. I will not spill the tea, the blood of your enemies. Same thing. Thank you, Seattle. Very, very clever. I love that. Yes.
It works. Oh man! And I'm looking, and as I'm looking at my screen, I realize I'm going to have to retire this white sheet. Why am I saying yellow? This white sheet. It's got to be retired because the light that's up there is shining through pretty bright on the camera, but meanwhile it's all dull and shit over here. So you know. Maybe I'll actually put up a better curtain rod and a curtain to keep all the heat in during the winter and the cool air in during the summer. We'll see. Anywho, we are live tonight, week of March 14th, 2023, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Aha! So before I continue, has anybody had any pie today?
Not yet.
I was kind of hoping work would get some pizza, but they ended up getting I think some Vietnamese food. Close enough, but you know, I was kind of in the mood for some pepperoni, you know. Anywho, thank you all for watching and participating and joining us this week, whether it's live or you're listening through the podcast feed. Always remember, you can find us here live at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. And we're also part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And they also stream here on Twitch. You can find them at Twitch TV/VogNetwork. They kick things off Sundays at 8 p.m. with the Bobby Blackwolf Show, followed by Orange Lounge Radio at 9. And come hang out in our Discord, vognetwork.com/Discord. Every active show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a dedicated channel. So come through, hang out, and have a good time. And I think we might be getting a little bit closer to opening the indoor pool again and hot tub.
Oh, that's a relief.
Yes, indeed. I think we're making it a little bit bigger this time around. So anywho, now we got that out the way, we're going to ask everybody, how was their week? How was their day? Ari.
Well, I got paid today. That's about the one good thing that's happened to me.
Ka-ching.
But a lot of it's been work-related stuff, and it's felt, especially maddening because, with, the conventions coming up and I'm in the middle of a 6-day work week. So 6 days in a row from this past Sunday to Friday of getting up at 4 in the morning and trudging out to work.
Good Lord, I salute you.
Yeah, and it's not been fun. And I've just, been cycling through, getting sick and, feeling not as bad. So I even took a nap a little while ago. And I have an alarm that says you got a show to do, and I nearly slept through it because just that tired.
No, I totally get that. I really do. So, but with everything that you're going through, like the medication and so forth, your body is getting used to it, and you're just pushing back harder. And no time flat, you're gonna be back to the way you are, lean and badass. Come on, dude. I believe in you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
So yeah, that's how things have been going for me the past couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't been spectacular. I'm sorry to say.
Everyone has their ups and downs, so it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day?
Not horrible.
Okay, I'll take that.
So we are slowly working on that front room.
Mm-hmm.
Put new blinds up, and we're starting to build the bench that's going to go in there. And then we'll start painting. Whether or not that is done this weekend, I have no idea. But other than that, I'm just trying to get stuff together for the convention next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that everything that I need done is done. Let's see. Damien turned 14 on Saturday.
Oh, happy birthday, old man.
Yeah. And I did end up, like last week, right before the show, I took him to the vet.
Mm-hmm.
So he is doing well after that. His cough is a hell of a lot better. The antibiotics will be running through his system for another week. They last for about 2 weeks, the shot. So I'm hoping by the end of that week that he's completely back to normal. But he is starting to eat more and be more active, I guess.
Is he defending his plate of food more now?
He is. Like those first couple of days after he had the steroid shot were so amusing. He was acting very young.
Mm-hmm.
He was pouncing on me. But yeah, the last couple of days he's just been curled up with me when I go to bed. Or if I happen to wake up, he'll, come back over and want to be pet. But for those first couple of days, he was just acting like a cat, almost, 10 years younger than he actually is.
I'm now reminded of the old Friskies commercials. What's gotten into that cat?
Yeah. Yeah. That, however, is, toning down and chilling out. So I know that the steroid is, basically through his system. But yeah, that was a very amusing couple of days.
You know, it'd be kind of interesting, like if you gave him if you got the steroid shot and you got the cat wheel and you started using it for the 2 days, and then he starts realizing with each day he's using it less and less because the steroid is running out. Then on the final day, he's just sitting there right in front of it, like, no. Berry, how was your week? How was your day?
It's been pretty uneventful. I've been pretty much just doing a lot of computer work, and obviously, like, tax season is upon us, so I've been working on those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it hasn't been too eventful recently. It's just been kind of I doing a lot of back end work and trying to get back into the swing of things after my bout of laryngitis, which unfortunately you guys got to experience some of that with me. I am slowly but surely getting back to my normal vocal usage and stuff, so it has been a little bit better on that respect, but definitely still working on it, making sure I don't strain myself too much, but overall doing okay.
That's good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the tax season and all that.
Yeah.
Like this past Friday, this past weekend when my check cleared early, I'm like, oh wow, this is actually pretty, generous this weekend. I looked at my bank statement, like, oh, my state income tax return.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
the government's always going to take its piece of cheese.
Yeah, like, but the my state return's like 3 or 4 times what my federal return is.
Oh.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around.
Mm. See, I'm just glad that this year, not really this year, but I'm actually paid off the debts that I owe to the state. Because when I was on unemployment, half the states were like, well, we'll only have you deduct only 10 grand. That's it. And that's what I did. That means I only owe the state $283. No problem. After I
Still
submit
too
this,
much.
I mean, look, 283 something I can handle easily. And then my New York State was rejected. I'm just like, the fuck? So,
Rejected how?
right, it seems that a few weeks after, they started accepting, they did not, they were like, no, you gotta deduct the entire amount of your unemployment, not just the 10K. So that in turn had me owing them $1,800. And you pay fees and penalties every time you make a payment. So when I got that Christmas end of year bonus, I was down to $1,000. So I threw $1,000 out. I'm like, you know what? Paid off. Done. So we're good. I have a feeling this year I should be getting from Fed and state. So, I do need to file, but I just keep forgetting because I have money. I'm not really hard up for it, but it would be nice to put that towards more debts. So, anyhow, as you were saying, Barry, sorry to.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. I mean, it really hasn't been much. I think, unfortunately, the MMO that I have so lovingly been playing a ton of is kind of on its weird MMO-y way out. So it's going to become very casual. Like, I think a lot of MMOs, they have their kind of core set of people that pretty traditionally play, but I think, the bigger group has kind of moved on already or is waiting for the next big game drop. Or I'm sure a lot of you in the gaming community have seen that there is, a lot of gaming and controversy and all that other fun stuff that has to do with controversial things coming out. And so a lot of people have been, I think, more focused on the gaming culture as a whole instead of just one or two games. And with this game, the developers have not been doing the best for support. So I imagine that there are a lot of people that are going to be leaving game in the next few months. So but I'm excited for Blue Protocol when that comes out. And in general, starting to get back into work, or actually streaming specifically. So I have slowly but surely been getting back in, ramping back up on all the back end stuff for that, and should be there soon.
Well, glad to hear that. And also, if you decide to, you can come join me and Kuro Hikari-chan on Phantasy Star Online too. So we have fun
Fantasy,
over there.
yeah, I've heard a few things about Phantasy Star, and I've also been told about Final Fantasy 14, and I've also been told about a few other games. Honkai Star Rail was one I was looking at because I was into Genshin, and
I was looking at Honkai Rail. I was looking at that one, but at least PSO2 is free, so
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I think a lot of it is the aesthetic, and I think that was one of the big things that drew me into NNK. And the community kind of kept me there for a lot longer than I anticipated, I would say. But it's one of those things where the community is starting to slowly change, and we had a server merge, so there's been a lot of tumultuousness.
I believe it. So, anywho, my weekend day has been normal as usual. Only thing different that I did was I actually went out and met I wouldn't say met, but a voice actor was doing an appearance 20 minutes from my house. And I'm talking not 20 minutes outside of New York City, but literally 20 minutes from my house. Granted, it took like closer to 35 because I had to walk to the subway, but it wasn't so bad. Voice actor Sonny Strait. Y'all definitely know him as Krillin from Dragon Ball Z, but he is also Usopp in One Piece, and Maze Hughes in Full Metal Alchemist. So I was definitely surprised. So I went, and also I brought him a gift. I went to personally my favorite bagel shop in the neighborhood. I got him 6 plain bagels, and I got him one that was toasted with cream cheese, so he has something to snack on while working. And as you know, we've talked about this on the show previously. The Ocean Bomb sparkling waters. And what's interesting is they also have regular drinks and sparkling tea. And as we do talk about, we have the Sailor Moon ones. Well, what's interesting is they also have Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and Street Fighter. So unfortunately, I couldn't find cans with the characters that he voices. So I got him 3 Dragon Ball Z cans and 3 One Piece cans. And surprisingly enough, he autographed one of the cans and handed it back to me. I was like, dude, I wasn't expecting this. But what sucked was I don't think he realized that the drinks were in my fridge for about a week. So they were like nice and cold. So, there wasn't really much of condensation because it was still cold anyway. So the signature kind of faded. But by the time I got home, and I poured out the drink, and the can is sitting on the windowsill, and you can still see the autograph. So at least there's that. So I'm really surprised by that. So I'm really appreciative. But there was one issue I had. I wish that the comic place actually had a better announcement of what's going on, because there was a $5 fee to go in. I didn't know about that, so I paid them. Fine. Then I found out that all the autographs are authenticated by a local company called JSA, and I'm just like, I have no plans on reselling these. I just want these, and I had to pay $10 per autograph. Now, I can understand if the autographs were generic, but these are personalized. But I paid it anyway, got my autographs, one for me, and I got a couple for a couple friends of mine. So, and now that the heavy duty sheet protectors are here, I can put them in there, and ship them off, because I don't want them to bend whatsoever, which means I'm probably going to be throwing cardboard in on each side to make sure that the post office does not try to bend it. Anywho, so I got that and so forth, and that basically has been it. Another thing I may have mentioned, that I'm building a DDR PC for a friend of mine. It's just a machine that can run like Stepmania and Omnimix, and it's almost done. All I have to do is put in the extra fans and screw them in, load Windows, and send it on its way. And I'll be dropping off at his place in 2 weeks for another get together. So that's been my weekend day. So now we're gonna get into some housekeeping notes here. Let's see. Like I said, there will be some ads throughout the episode here, usually in the beginning, middle, and the end. The ads pay bills, so we appreciate that. If you don't want to see the ads, just subscribe to the channel. If you don't, these are like 30 seconds, so it won't bother you. If you're listening to the podcast feed, you don't have to worry about them. I have not added commercials to that yet, and if I do, it'll be at the beginning and the very end. That way, it doesn't really intrude, because I don't want to do that. And don't forget, podcast VODs are available on our YouTube page at youtube.com/animejamsession. They are available Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time. So if you want to check out some older episodes that you're not readily available to, or you just want to rewatch this and you don't want to go through Twitch, check it out on YouTube. And don't forget, our convention tour kicks right up. We will be at ZenkaiCon next weekend in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County Convention Center, and I believe that is March 24th to the 26th. And Barry, you will sorely be missed. So,
I'll miss you guys too, but I just
No,
recovered from the laryngitis. No,
I totally
no, it's
get it,
okay,
though.
it's okay. I'm gonna try and get out to see everyone soon. I know I will be at AUSA, barring anything else. So if you want to see me later in September, I should be around there.
Wait.
But yeah.
When is Anime USA?
September 22nd to the 24th,
Well,
from what I've heard.
Damn, I totally forgot about that because I wanted to go, but I ended up booking for Mirioku-con, which is the following weekend.
Oh, Mirioku-con. Is it the same weekend?
Following.
Oh, it's the following weekend. Okay, I'll have to see. I mean, they're both local, so
Yeah,
it's not going to be a huge thing. But
I was going to ask you should come hang out. You know.
I will see what I can do. If there's a chance I can go, it's definitely supporting some of my favorite local cosplayers in their endeavors to make another convention. So I'm definitely all for it.
Sounds good. It's at the Marriott Inner Harbor.
Okay, the Marriott. So Baltimore. Okay,
Yep.
back up in Baltimore. Yeah, I haven't. Man, that's some old stomping ground.
I know, right? Right.
Yeah, but Beltway traffic during rush hour will bring new
Oh
meaning
yeah,
to the
no,
phrase.
I'm not
Fuck
looking
you,
forward to the
Baltimore!
traffic, but
No, I totally get
but yeah.
that. Okay, next up is our Geek Roundtable. This is where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our week or cool stuff that we're checking out. So, Ari, what you got for Geek Roundtable?
Nothing too spectacular, I suppose. I've just been, spending a lot of free time on a board game arena. Playing board games and whatnot, getting into tournaments and the like. So it's a nice way to kill time. And the app on the phone, it works pretty decently.
Okay, cool.
I'll be right back.
No problem. All right, Mako, you care to share off what these colors of green, black, yellow, white are?
I felt like doing the podcast in the dark, so everybody gets to see my computer.
That's nice.
Yeah. I'm every time I come on here and I look at this, I really want to add more color.
Well,
more lights.
We can do that. Like the LED lights in the bottom corner, we can add 2 more strips at the top. That can be done.
Yeah, I know. I like the pretty.
Your rig is going to be a rave in a box.
It already is a rave in a box.
Man, we got a lot of bots in here tonight.
Sometimes just see attention. I honestly don't know. So, wow, Berry is on a roll tonight. Yo, she is sniping these bots left and right.
Told you.
It would be nice if they, I will say, it would be nice if they weren't bots, so.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't have to pay attention to those little buggers anymore.
Hey-o.
It's just a matter of, no. I mean, it doesn't matter how big or how small your channel is. There's always going to be bots, and it's unfortunately just part of the system. And unfortunately, Twitch will go back and actually pull those views from you anyway. So it's better to just ban and move on.
See, that's the thing that has me kind of concerned. But half the time, I really don't care about the views, because if I did, I would probably be a little bit more annoyed about the
proactive. Yeah. No, I totally get it.
Yeah. Now, if I could just get Messenger to actually work, it signed me out, kicked me to the main page, and it says log in. And I'm just like, I'm logged in. What do you want me to do? But anywho, Berry, what have you been working on?
Well, I did recently have a fashion show, so I finished up the work for that. And you guys heard a little bit of the story from KatsuCon, obviously.
Yep.
But then, yeah, there haven't been too many projects. I've healing, recovering has been my main focus, and I am planning to have some RPG friends this weekend. So I have been working on cleaning up house and getting ready to host a tea party with my friend, my dear friend, next week. The bloody tea party. So
Oh, boy.
I am actually very excited for that.
All right, so for me, I've been catching up with anime, and I think I'm done with my 2022 animes because I only because I just happened to stumble across Bocchi the Rock, which is basically it's along the lines of what's that other anime that's on Netflix that I like it so much. The other one about the girl who's quiet is trying to make it that 100 friends. Why?
Comey can't communicate.
Yeah, yes. It's something like Comey can't communicate, but the main character does communicate and talk, but it's just nervous around new people, and they form a band. And I have to thank Sam from AnimeHerald.com for kind of putting me onto it. So there's that. I believe I finished Prima Doll on HIDIVE, and I've got to go through my list. I think except for My Hero Academia, I'm basically caught up. But I got something interesting in the mail on Saturday. One of my friends, Omnia Cosplay, I've known her for like 20-something years, said to me, "What's your address? I got you something. I hope you don't have it already." And I'm just like, I'm okay. If I don't mind having two of it. There's some Venus stuff that I have duplicates of because some people sent it to me thinking I didn't have it, and oddly enough, I did. So, for those of you who don't know, there is a meme that's floating around. I forget what it said on the meme, but the image shows a guy pulling up his pants leg, and he's wearing like these nice Italian shoes, but he's wearing Sailor Venus socks. And I've come across those socks once to purchase, and I lost the link. So what's funny is my friend Chelsea. I would say what's funny is my friend Chelsea bought me a pair of Venus socks way before this meme popped up, and people were tagging me in it left and right, which I was thoroughly amused by. So my friend Omnia Cosplay sent me a pair of Sailor Venus socks.
Nice.
And for those who are listening, these are orange socks with the Venus logo on there, like a shield, and in white with blue lettering, Sailor Venus. And I will be wearing these next week at ZenkaiCon because they're going with my Venus sneakers. You Mako, you knew that was coming.
Please tell me that you are going to wear like full on fanboy Venus outfit.
More or less. Just remember, I do have the the sweatshirt, but I didn't get the sweatpants because I wasn't going to like the way they fit. But I will be wearing the soccer jersey and the trucker hat.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll be all swagged out. Oh man. All right. Enough about that. Let's get into tonight's stories, and I really want to hear Barry's thoughts on this one. Just remember, we don't have all night. That's all.
Yeah, no, definitely. And obviously, I will say that there is okay. So I've been working in maid cafes.
Wait, Barry. Before we continue, let me set it up for those who are listening. This first article is about maid cafes, and we've talked about maid cafes on this show a lot. But this time, a writer wrote an opinion piece saying that they're misogynistic. And at first, I thought it was a guy that wrote this, but no, it was a woman. and for some odd reason, I was kind of shocked. I glanced over it and I could tell, yeah, she really didn't. She doesn't get it. But for those of you who are new to the show or don't know, Berry here is our HMIC, head maid in charge. She has run Otacon's Maid Cafe for several years. She is also known as Mama Maid. If you ever,
there are a lot of people call me Mama Meido, and obviously, I've been working in maid cafes not only in specific convention focused locations, but also I've run maid cafes out of karaoke bars. I've run them out of golf clubs. I've literally been in whatever the American maid circuit could be considered, idol circuit, whatever you want to call it. I've probably been a big contender in it for the last probably close to 15 years now. Oh gosh, that's so weird to say, but I've been doing it for a long time is what I can tell you. And I will say there are parts of the message that I definitely kind of agree with when it comes to misogyny, but a lot of that is too that the culture we live in, it deals a lot with this idea of how to market yourself, and there are certain aspects of marketing yourself as a maid or service worker that is very focused on customer service that can come across as almost this is such a weird word to say, but almost fetish like, and it really can be. But part of that is because that's what sells. I mean, that's why we have places like OnlyFans. That's why we have places that sell specifically spicy photos. That's why we have that. And unfortunately, while the idea behind this is supposedly wholesome, let's be fair. The real understanding is that maid cafes are supposed to be a relaxation away from home. However, caveat, there is the understanding that there is a little bit of, at least in Japanese culture cafes, because in American culture cafes this varies, that there is a little bit of fetishism, because you aren't going to go into a cafe where a girl's dressed up as a maid without certain intent. Obviously, you want to hope that people have wholesome intentions with everything they do, but let's be honest here. We live in a humanity, and humanity, it's just like that sometimes. So the article reads, "What fresh misogynist hell is this? Why new maid cafes are causing a ruckus. I assumed an establishment where young women dressed as maids and performed submissively would be a den of depravity. The truth may be more complicated. Let's play a quick round of a game I just invented called Is this perverted and misogynistic, or is this fine actually?" So weird. The subject is an eatery in Manchester called Animaid that describes itself as the UK's only maid cafe. What's a maid cafe? Well, if you want to read various academic studies dissecting the phenomenon, they're available on Google. But the quick and dirty version is that they're cafes that feature waitresses dressed up like maids in exaggerated uniforms who interact with customers in character, sometimes calling them master. They've been around since the 1990s in Japan and were inspired by dating simulation video games. While they initially catered to male nerds, otaku as they're known in Japan, they have become more mainstream. Young women performing exaggerated submissiveness, I mean, it kind of screams perverted and misogynistic to the writer. And I'm not the only one getting those vibes. The Animaid Cafe caused quite a stir online after a local chancellor, I think it might be chancellor, saw its no touching policy displayed in the window and tweeted, "What fresh hell is this in Manchester?" Vigorous discussion ensued, and Graham Linan, once known as the creator of Father Ted, and now known for his obsession with transgendered people, dubbed it a Hooter for incels.
We already have a Hooter that's for incels.
Which credit
it's called
where
Hooters.
it's due, it's a turn of phrase. But I've always thought of Hooters for incels was just called Hooters.
But I will say,
Anyways.
Hooters does have good wings. Just saying.
No, you don't.
That is all I have ever heard about Hooters. I have never heard anybody talk about anything else.
Look,
Because I think it borders on like outing people for focusing on other things than the wings, but whatever.
Look, I'm still kind of mad that they closed the one that was by Penn Station due to the pandemic, because they had different flavors of wings and they were good. I just want,
Those wings are nasty.
Anyways, is our game show now over? Did perverted and misogynistic win? I'm not completely sure. The backlash has been followed by a passionate defense from various quarters, arguing that the whole thing is fine, actually. The Mirror actually did an in-depth report in the cafe, arguing that rather than being a den of depravity, staff say their family-friendly cafe is for anime lovers to have a safe space to hang out. Meanwhile, it seems that all publicity is good publicity, and business is now booming. Wow, look at that, a surprise. Hate publicity. We know that works. If that's not worked for somebody, then we have a whole lot more to talk about. But the final verdict, the writer hates to say this, and they know this sort of thing is very unfashionable these days, but they suspect the truth about anime isn't black and white but has some nuance, and it's terribly inconvenient when that happens. The writer of the column was Ara Madawi, and they are from The Guardian. So if you are interested in looking up any more of that, it's in English. It's a UK newspaper. So
yeah, it kind of falls along the lines of Star Magazine in a way. So
yeah, they're kind of like they cover exploits and things of that nature, and they tend to have a lot of not volunteer writers, but I would say like kind of B column news. And I again, like I said before, I kind of agree with the idea that there is a certain amount of that to the business model, but I mean, that's pretty on par for most places.
Yeah.
If it's not appealing in one way, it's appealing in another. And while we want to believe the intentions of people are good, unfortunately, there's always going to be those people that want to ruin it for everyone. And obviously, too, is that like where it came from obviously has a lot to play in what it kind of stands for, and the people that do enjoy it. Obviously, the cafes that I've worked in were American. And so when it came to dealing with those nuances of the different aspects of running a maid cafe in the American culture, it was a translation. There's always going to have to be a slight change and a slight idea of how you translate it to the common culture of wherever you're going to be hosting something like this, be it dealing with anything from the rights of your workers, like the no touching policy in the location in this particular story, to handbooks on specific styles of hygiene, to handbooks on uniform care, to how this job is going to differ from, and the expectations of this job may differ from a job in a normal restaurant. And a lot of that too is because these restaurants tend to be not only food restaurants, but they're also performance spaces. If you've ever been to a maid cafe, and I don't know if many of our listeners have, but basically the performers kind of get into character. And in this particular story, the way that they described it was that they kind of overact, or they kind of oversell this idea of being a maid in the cafe and call them master. Now, not every cafe does this. A lot of the times in American cafes, we won't do this because it can get kind of uncomfy in certain circles. But in general, it's just, to me, like an exponential boost of customer service. Like, you're going into this cafe and you're going to get the best possible customer service you could ever receive in your life, kind of thing.
Yeah, because one thing about Japan, they're really into customer service. Like, my old roommate Aaron would say that there are times he's gone into like a konbini or convenience store, and the person is not behind the counter, but they're stocking shelves, and when they hear someone coming, they literally drop what they're doing, run to the counter for assistance,
Yeah, and that's just Japanese culture in a nutshell, is like to be not inconvenient for the whole, which albeit has its own negative side effects, but in general, the way that I've found it translates the best to American culture is to basically say you're falling into an episode of your favorite anime, and you just so happen to be being served by a cute girl or guy or non-binary friend who wants to make it your best experience you could ever have. Now, be that them playing a character, be that them dressed up and being a normal waiter or waitress, then that's just however it's going to be served.
And you're right. And I will say this, and we can move on to our next story. Now, New York City had a maid cafe about 10, 15 years ago. And the first thing I noticed, now, I definitely knew what maid cafes were, but I did not really put two and two together, thinking that the maid cafe in New York was going to run and operate like one in Japan. When I first walked in, it was like a regular cafe, like a coffee shop, except that the employees are wearing maid outfits as uniforms. They're behind the counters, grabbing your baked goods, getting your coffee. And you go to the counter and you pick it up. Or they would, maybe depending on what it was going, they would bring it out to you and go back behind the counter. And there was always somebody there, keeping I thought that was a great concept. And what they used to do was, I think it was every other week, for 2 hours only, for $25, you could get the full maid service, like a typical maid cafe where they will sing and dance, put decorate your food, all that, for $25. I think it was for like a half hour time, and it was like 10 slots per half hour. That's what they did. And also, you had to be 18 plus to do it. So I thought that was even better. So now that we got that out the way, we're going to get kind of back into the maid aspect, but we're going to go more towards idolish, because we're going to talk about Love Live. Not my most favorite character in the series, but, she's somewhat tolerable. We're going to talk about Keke Tang briefly. It seems that she is now a AI waifu chatbot. I think even if it was Nozomi, I'd still be like, yeah, no, I'm not falling down that rabbit hole. It's not happening. Not happening. But it seems that fans of the series are dunking on this AI dating chatbot that's not using KK's image for its service, using it for its service. It's a dating chatbot, and the fans are basically none too thrilled about it, So, as it goes here, it's for, like I said, a dating service. Now, Justine Moore, an investment partner for venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z, tweeted about a new AI chatbot called Waifu Chat, which allows users to chat romantically with fictionalized characters. Oh, good Lord. Tinder,
Oh, no.
but all your matches are AI chatbots. It's how she described the Android app. But anime fans noticed that Yuka, one of the AI characters in this chatbot. Now, if you're an Android person like me, you will always see like these bootleg anime games on the Google Play Store, and 9 times out of 10, they've stolen images from Naruto, One Piece, Gundam, Digimon, or Pokemon. It's generally those 5 they will blatantly steal images from. So, the image that was stolen is an image of Keke Tang from Love Live Superstar and named Yuka. And now Love Live fans are none too thrilled about it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Keke is one of the main characters in the anime, and is also one of the members of Lealia, which is the school idol group that has 9 members. In the anime, she transferred to Yugioka Girls High School from Shanghai, China, to become a school idol like her favorite idol group, Sunny Passion, or Sunny Pass. With Kana and Shibuya's help, they formed the school's idol club to recruit members, which happens over the 2 seasons of the anime. Now, in real life, Liu, the singer and cosplayer and a voice actress from Shanghai, China, portrays Keke, which is kind of cool. Now, I don't know if we've talked about it here on this show, but lately there's been this big talk of GPT chat, AI generated images, and this and that.
Yeah, they're not fun to look at.
In one of my groups, I've seen AI images of buff Japanese female wrestlers. The one that had me rolling was somebody actually did Hogwarts as a historically black college university.
Now the one I remember is Hogwarts, but everyone is jacked.
Oh God. And in one of the images, One of the characters has 7 fingers.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
The AI thing's getting better. I still remember the look on the face of Hermione Granger.
I mean, it's not. I mean, look. Half the time, if it's not that, I've seen people use AI images to be like, here is an AI generated Yu Yu Hakusho or 80s Street Fighter or Dark Fantasy Futurama. Y'all need to stop. The quote, what's his name? It's time to stop. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, now, while the anime fans are having a laugh at the plagiarism, it does highlight the fundamental problems regarding the current AI trend. Artists and animators worldwide have condemned AI-generated art programs like Midjourney and Stability AI for producing images based on stolen artwork. Remember, when you upload these images and they do like a caricature, it's connected to, most of them are connected to AI, so they're using that, okay? And it's training these programs to do things better. Now, the legality of these programs are currently being questioned by everyone. An AI-generated comic book recently lost claim of ownership regarding its artwork because the court believed Midjourney users lack sufficient control over generated images to be treated as a mastermind behind them. There's also the morality issue with the AI-generated services. Love Live Superstar portrays KK as a lesbian character who is often romantically teased by Kanon and fellow Lealia member Sumera Hiyana. And, well, to go to veer onto the side gently, if you watch season 1, the way Sumire and KK are arguing each other, you're basically like, y'all just need to fuck and get it out your system. Or why don't y'all just fuck already? You know, that's basically what the fans are just shouting. And it's not like where everybody is lovey-dovey over Nozomi and Ellie. It's like with these two, it's like just fuck already. You know, it's like just do it, get it out your system so we can continue on with the show. Now, multiple comic book editors and artists have rallied against AI-generated art programs. Filmmaker Guillermo del Toro echoed the words of Hayao Miyazaki by calling AI art an insult to life itself. And I fully agree.
AI art was a mistake.
Yes, it is. The only time AI anything like should come into for art is like ideas. Like if you punch something into the system and it spits stuff at you, and you take it and you work with it. If it spits a certain style and you start drawing in that style or making variants on that, that's what it should be good for. Ideas.
At that point, it just sounds like a writing or a drawing prompt. You know?
Yeah, like that. It's sort of like with 3D printing. I think 3D printing should be more like you make the design with the 3D printer and you use that print as your mold to make whatever you want out of that. That's just me. But again, this is more of a story for another time because if we keep on this tangent, we're gonna be here all night, and I ain't trying to get shot by everybody on the show. So anywho, we're gonna move right along to our next story, and we're gonna talk about more Pokemon.
All right. So, Ash and Pikachu's 26-year Pokemon anime journey comes to an end later this month, and to celebrate all of his achievements throughout the 1 year in anime career, really, guys, the top Pokemon trainer has taken over the main screen at JR Shinjuku Station, the busiest train station in the world. There's a video that this from Anapoke PR _PR. And it said that the video will be shown until March 19th, but for those unable to make it to Shinjuku to see it, the official Pokemon Twitter account has shown the video off in a tweet. And it's like multiple screens of clips from Pokemon of Ash's greatest hits, if you will. The last batch of Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series, launched on February 24th on Netflix in the US, with the final batches, which feature Ash's final episodes, being released at a later time. The newest Pokemon anime will feature the first new protagonist in the history of the franchise, and starts on April 14th. So it's really hard to think about the huge end of huge era coming to an end here.
Yeah, it
Huge
definitely.
nostalgia trip, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still say that there were ways that they could have done this without completely ending the series that's currently going.
I still think Team Rocket should be showing up in the new series, but
Oh, you saw what happened, right? Like they got into a big fight and they all just pieced off and went in their own separate ways.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, stop. Say that shit again?
I saw, screen caps of their last appearance on the show, and Jesse, James, and Meowth were all, bickering at one another, and then the three of them just decide to fuck off in separate directions, while all their Pokemon just look on in sadness.
That's some bull. Now I'm salty. I'm salty about that. That's some bullshit.
I don't know if that's the full context of it,
I hope
but
not.
yeah, it is freaking sad to see him go off on that kind of a note.
And there's probably like maybe one person I could ask about that, but I'm not going to ask that person because I value my testicles.
I will let you know that if it hasn't already been dubbed, she does not know because she does not follow the Japanese stuff. She wants to be surprised about it.
Well, I'm just saying if she's already did that, just saying. I'm just like, I'd rather... I value my body parts. Just saying. Just saying.
I got body parts. I gotta put mine to rest for the night.
All right, man.
Nice talking to you guys again.
You got it, bro. And we'll definitely see you on the
It was
show.
good to see you, Ari.
You too.
Have a good night.
Take care, man. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Later.
Later, dude.
Later.
All right, let me put up the where is let me all right, let me bring this down here. I actually need to set this up so that I can just flip a button and it'll just pop right over each person's setup. But that requires a lot of patience with this streaming Nexus device, which I kind of have. So, anywho, we're going to move right along here. And let's see, what else do we have on here? 24/7 HIDIVE channel. Mako, what's up with that?
Yeah, so the Plex streaming service earlier this month added a anime HIDIVE channel that plays anime licensed by Sentai Filmworks all day. Some of the streaming anime on there is Maid Sama, Princess Principal,
which is, by the way, is really, really good.
Beyond the Boundary, My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, and many others. So basically, Sentai Filmworks is a global supplier of anime and official merchandise. The company's brands include the HIDIVE streaming service, SentaiFilmworks.com, Anime Network Cable Video on Demand, and Sentai Studios. So Sentai Filmworks has licensed numerous anime, including Made in Abyss, Akame ga Kill, Food Wars, and Parasite. AMC Networks acquired Sentai Holding LLC, which includes Sentai Filmworks and the HIDIVE streaming service in January of 2022. The acquisition includes all of the member interest from Cool Japan Fund Inc., a public-private Japanese investment fund. So Sentai Filmworks and Japan's Mainich Broadcasting System entered a new partnership and distribution agreement on March 2nd. The deal provides exclusive rights for HIDIVE to stream part of MBS future programming in all global markets outside of Asia.
That's going to be quite interesting.
And then it does look like it is running on a set schedule.
Oh, that's good. See, if I had a Plex subscription or something like that, I would actually jump in for this. But I already have a subscription to HIDIVE, so I'm perfectly cool with that. So, and what's interesting with they also have not just the HIDIVE. They also have Shout Factory's Tokusatsu network. They also have Retro Crush, which is basically older anime titles. IGN actually has a station on here, Asian Crush, which is cool. So there's a lot of cool Asian stuff on it. I like that. I think that's kind of cool.
So I am looking at this, and it does look like they play the same anime, like the like one season all day. From what I'm seeing. So they'll just play, like, if it's a 12 episode series, they'll just play the 12 episodes over and over. I'm looking at this one. This one is 23 episodes, so they just keep playing the 23 episodes over and over. So, yeah, it does look like it's going to be something that I guess is almost kind of, I don't know. It's just it's one series per day from what I'm seeing.
See,
which I guess isn't a bad thing.
If I remember correctly, I want to say Funimation finally closed down their anime channel, the Funimation channel. It was on Verizon for a while, and they kind of did the same thing. But it was like 2 or 3 different series per day or something like that. What I really wanted them to do was have dubbed stuff during the day and subtitled stuff at night. Because you can edit the dubs, for audio and so forth, and do your proper edits. Subtitles, you can edit some stuff out, but at least it's a direct translation. It wouldn't be so bad if you're watching it and they're cursing the person out in Japanese and you see what they're saying, as opposed to hearing them say it in English, But anywho, see, what do we have left here? Oh, yes, this. This was something that we talked about on the show a while back, and I thought it was fake news because I didn't think anyone would be crazy enough to pull this off. And yes, I'm talking about the live-action Saint Seiya. But they're going to call it, I believe they're going to call it here, Knights of the Zodiac, which is kind of what it translates to. But on the official website for it, there is an updated trailer along with the theme song. It's called Courage by Pink. I have not listened to this. I am not sure of this, but we'll see where this goes. I just hope it's not another Power Ranger thing, because that was terrible, quite terrible. Now,
watch the trailer. It's not bad. It's not what I thought it was gonna be, but it's not bad.
Well, is it better than the new trailer for the new Ninja Turtles movie?
I couldn't even get through the trailer for the Ninja Turtles movie, so
I'm sorry. Take my black card again if you want. But April O'Neil in this looks like a hot fucking mess, and it's an insult to black characters around the world. So if anybody who really is rooting for this, yeah, you really need to get your eyes examined. Really. Anywho.
Yeah, I don't have an issue, but I do want to see more of the character before I make final judgment on that.
Either or, Jackie Chan is going to need a back brace, okay? So, in regards to the Saint Seiya, or Knights of the Zodiac, the film will open up in Japan on April 28th. And it's going to be called Saint Seiya The Beginning. The film will open up outside of Japan sometime later this year. The film stars Makinyu, who was in Rurouni Kenshin, The Final, and it'll star Madison Iseman, who was in the Jumanji sequels, and I Know What You Did Last Summer television series, and Sean Bean is in it, so we all know he's going to get killed. Famke Janssen, who wasn't she Mystique? No. What? No. She was an X-Men, but I don't. No, she wasn't Mystique. No.
No,
she was Rogue.
Gray.
Jean Grey. Okay, good. Jean Grey.
She's Jean Grey. Okay. Turned into Phoenix. Gotcha.
Yeah, and Sia DeBerry says she was Jean Grey. Let's see what else we have here. Mark Dacascos is going to be in it. So I guess by that alone, Mako-chan will be seeing it day one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's playing the villain, which is par for course of his acting the last couple of years.
I did not know he was in Crying Freeman or Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Learn something new every day. Polish anime and special effects creator Tomasz Baginski will be directing it for Toei with Sony Pictures Worldwide Acquisitions. Andy Chang is the stunt coordinator who worked on Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings. Cool. He's the stunt and fight coordinator, which it makes it even better. Josh Campbell and Matt Stuckin, who worked on 10 Cloverfield Lane, are the latest writers of the film script. Toei is distributing in Japan, and Sony Pictures Worldwide will be doing everywhere else except for China and the Middle East. So as per the Hollywood Reporter, the story goes, in what is labeled an origin story, Making You starring as Seiya, a street orphan and the title hero of the franchise. When a mystical energy known as Cosmos awakens in him, Seiya embarks on a journey to conquer the ancient Greek armor of Pegasus and choose his side in the pre-eternal nature battle for the fate of Sienna, a young girl who struggles to control her godly powers. Bean plays a mentor named Alman Kido, a man who recruits Seiya into the Knight's Order, which he founded when he discovered the reincarnated goddess. Tinoko is a man hired to kill the vulnerable goddess. Toei Animation producer Yoshi Ikazawa told the news website Variety that Toei Animation is looking at 6 movies as a package for the live-action franchise. They added that Toei Animation has already started the conversation to make sequels. Kurumada published the original Saint Seiya manga from 1986 to 1990. The manga has inspired a number of television animes, OVAs, anime films, spin-off mangas, and video games. The Saint Seiya Sentia Show spin-off manga also have an anime. And I think that's the all-female team. That's basically Sailor Moon with battle armor. Viz Media published the original manga in English under Saint Seiya Knights of the Zodiac. ADV Films, which is now known as Sentai Filmworks, if you know your history, released the animation adaptation under the title Knights of the Zodiac, which was edited for the dub for TV. Uncut version was basically called Saint Seiya. New Video Group also later released the series on DVD. Crunchyroll began streaming Saint Seiya Knights of the Zodiac Battle for Sanctuary, the second season of the CG anime, back on July 31st. The first part is 6 episodes, which debuted in July 2019. The anime's first 12-episode season covers the story from the Galaxian Wars to Silver Saints arcs of the manga. The anime will get a 3rd season. So basically, with each different Saint Seiya anime, it's like a different story that brings it together. Because if I'm not mistaken, in the original anime, there is a tournament to get this armor, and it all turns into something out there. Whereas here, I think we're only going to see Seiya and maybe another person towards the end, which it does make sense for a 6-part movie franchise to bring in all the Saints. Because I see something real going to happen here. So I may just have to see this for support. And C. DeBeery says, that would be a good idea. I also still wish the American localized Super Milk Chan dub would have been played on Adult Swim when they did that. Well, I will say this. If you ever want to see a live-action Milk Chan, just wait till Mako starts streaming on her own.
You dumbass.
See? You tip her 200 bits, she'll call you a dumbass.
I don't need to be tipped 200 bits for that.
I mean, you might as well get paid for...
one thing I will do for free. I have no problem calling everybody dumbasses.
But why do it for free if somebody wants to pay you to do it, I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah, but why get paid for something I enjoy doing? Oh, wait, no, never mind.
See? See?
Lucrative. That is what we call that, mama. Like, get you your internet money.
You pay me, I put you down. Isn't there?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't question it. Just roll with it. Just
I'm gonna clear of that right there. I'm just gonna go a separate way there.
Yeah. You know what? We're gonna say so. Only say so. Totally wholesome content here on Anime Jam Session at twitch.tv/Anime Jam Session.
Look, let's be real. Barry is one of the sweetest, kindest people I've ever met. But if you walked up to them and handed them $200 for them to curse somebody out, you damn right Barry would, because it's money.
I would not. I'd probably like. I'd probably be like, so hey, I'm gonna give you $50 if you just let me.
All right.
I'll work it out with you.
Or instead of cursing them out, you just go into straight up yandere mode and you threaten to kick them in the shins.
Yeah, I think you mean tsundere.
Tsundere,
yandere is a little more extreme. Yeah. But we're not. But we don't tend to do yandere content.
For $500, I will go yandere on your ass.
See?
We'll add an extra 0 or 2, and maybe we see a little berry yandere.
I like the sound of that little berry yandere. Look out, Shinchan! You got competition. That should be your updated name on Twitter, Little Berry Yandere.
Oh my gosh. I feel like anybody who's seen my streams would be absolutely gobsmacked. Like, they would be confused as hell.
That's the point. Yeah. You tricked them into like, shh, they're not yandere.
See, you definitely vouch for this. I'm definitely not a yandere.
I've watched your streams. I know that. That. They know that, but the others don't. So why not, you know?
Fair. Great expansion.
And C2Beer says, Little Berry Yandere will be a great expansion to Yandere Simulator. Okay, all right. If you all know, my favorite Pokemon in the current generation is Tinkaton. It's the one that's carrying the big old hammer built from their enemy Pokemon. I can picture Barry like that with a big old grin on their face, and instead of a hammer, it's a knife. Little Berry Yandere.
Maybe not. Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna choose weapons later.
Okay. Okay, and if you don't know,
we were doing product development, but no, this is. I do like Yandere Simulator. I don't know if it's banned or not, but like, if we really want me to, I might play it.
God. Now you got me thinking of product.
For a stream.
Oh God! I'm suddenly thinking of that scene from Spaceballs. We talk about the merchandising. Instead of holding up Spaceballs, instead of Spaceballs, the doll, it's little Berry Yandere as a doll, and you squeeze it.
I hate how much that like has alliteration to it and actually sounds pretty good. But I'm not a yandere.
No, that could be. You squeeze it once. I'm not a yandere. Squeeze it again. Huy. We can have a contest. You know? Find the tsundere doll and win.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, honestly, I do joke about the whole vampire thing, but maybe I'm actually a vampire. I mean, it is kind of a joke, but you know what? We'll carry on with this conversation in the crypt.
Yes. By the way, you need to watch Call of the Night. You'll enjoy that one.
I've already watched it.
Wasn't that a great anime?
It was such a great one. I loved it so much. I want to cosplay the main character already. Can you tell?
Nazuna? Yeah, I would sit down and have drinks with Nazuna. She is just chill as fuck.
She's so cute.
See
Maid Dere cafes. I mean, that's
wait,
I think.
Hold it. There's already a Maid Dere cafe. There's an anime about that.
Mm-hmm.
Blend S.
Ooh, kudere. Well, I mean, those kind of cafes exist in real life. I mean, those were the kind of cafes I ran.
Mm-hmm.
The cafes that I ran, each of the performers had a character style.
Mm-hmm.
I primarily did cheek you guy. So cheek you guy means like alien. So if you imagine like Starfire as a maid, like Starfire from Teen Titans as a maid,
Oh, okay.
or
Okay.
like an elven princess maid, like that kind of thing.
Oh, by the way, did you finish all of Akiba Maid War?
I don't think I finished. I think I finished the whole seasons that are out
Yeah,
because
there's
I
only
have a
12
friend
episodes.
Lucy who likes to watch with me. So I like to watch with him when we're hanging out.
Yes, Akiba Maid War was so good.
So good. It was such a good one.
I hope they do a season 2. But you know, we've already derailed and kicked the podcast train over into the ditch. Mako-chan is just staring from the tracks, giving us the middle finger.
I can feel the daggers slowly digging into my skin.
Yeah.
So we should probably move on.
Yes. Yeah, we need to get into Meanwhile in Japan. Okay, let's take a look here. We probably won't do all of the stories, but you know, you know what? I'll take the third story.
Okay, I will take. I guess I'll take the second story because it's interesting, and you know what? We've already derailed way too much.
Yeah, I think I know which one Mako's gonna go for.
I'm gonna take the last one.
Called it.
Okay, I guess it's me first. So, strange news from Japan. Shall we?
Yes, we
Okay.
shall.
So, I would never ever do this in a Ghibli park. However, there are some tourists that maybe they shouldn't be visiting other countries. In this case, there were some tourists to the Ghibli Park caught in lewd acts with anime character figures. Oof. The silence from Studio Ghibli regarding this matter has landed it in hot water. It's been just over 4 months now since the highly anticipated Ghibli Park opened its doors to the public on the 1st of November. And though the park has been receiving rave reviews for its environmentally friendly transport and the anime worlds that have been created in the nature-filled areas, it has come under fire for what some have described as examples of hostile architecture. And now there's another incident creating controversy with the public. Recently, it's become clear that a number of visitors have been posing in lewd ways with some of the park's exhibits, namely the large figurines modeled after some of the studio's most famous characters located inside the Grand Warehouse. People online have been sharing photos of these badly behaved visitors, which show a number of young men grabbing the breasts of Theru from Tales of Earthsea and taking upskirt photos of Marnie from When Marnie Was Here. And that's not great because I don't know if you guys know this, but Marnie is an underage character, so that's not a great look for them. In the real world, acts like this are sex crimes that would result in an arrest. Compounding the problem is the fact that both these characters are estimated to be between 14 and 17 for Theru, and in the case of Marnie, 12 years of age, making them both minors that are under 18 and under the legal age of adulthood in Japan, which shouldn't even be a question at that point, but basically, yeah. Add that in the fact that many of the visitors in Studio Ghibli are families with young children, and the problem becomes much, much worse. It requires some sort of response from the officials. However, media outlets who sought comment from Ghibli Park about the incidents were told by a public relations office that the park will not be commenting on the matter. The only heightened criticism against the park until finally on the 9th of March, Hideki Omura, the governor of Aichi Prefecture, where the park is located, held a press conference saying, "These displays are there so that everyone, from children to adults, can immerse themselves in the works of Studio Ghibli. It is extremely unpleasant for photos like these to be uploaded to social media. It is extremely regrettable, and I sincerely want it to stop." That's kind of a questionable reply, but I'll get into that in just a second. He went on to reveal that a similar problem occurred in the past at the Ghibli Museum in Tokyo's Mitaka. And because of the incidents, Ghibli Park has a policy of not commenting on these matters. As the park is located in Aichi Prefecture, the governor says he has asked Ghibli Park to respond strictly to events of malicious incidents and has also requested that visitors alert staff immediately if they see behavior like this occurring during their visit. He concluded by saying that people who act like this should not come to the park, and he is resolute that there will be strict repercussions for anyone acting like this in the future. I think that that's a good way of handling it. I will say that the way that he explained it as it is extremely unpleasant for photos like these to be uploaded on social media. It seems like a very political, let's not do this, and not so much a, this is unacceptable and it needs to stop right now. But the last sentence is extremely regrettable, and I sincerely want it to stop. Kind of gives that, but it's not a really direct like stance against it, which seems to be kind of how politicians over there tend to handle things. Like they don't want to anger and ruffle feathers, but they also need to stand in, in the line of something. So I hope that it just stops. But yeah, stop trying to be lewd with statues, especially underage statues that are just there for some wholesome enjoyment by people at a park.
Yeah, and that's all I gotta say about that is because. Yeah, y'all need to stop. As I said earlier, it's time to stop. All right, so we go from one lewd act to another. And in this one, it's a 60-year-old Japanese laundromat owner who is fighting a panty thief half his age, and he almost gets run over. What in the fresh farm is this? So around 12:20 in the morning last Sunday, a 27-year-old man walked into a laundromat in the Kasaharachio neighborhood of Mito, Ibaraki Prefecture. Didn't have any clothes to wash or even a bag, but that's not all that unusual. If people in Japan are drying their clothes at a laundromat, they often go run errands or hit up a local convenience store while the cycle is going on, leaving a laundry bag hanging on the dryer's handle. And that's something that I do. Once it gets to that second wash load, I'll go up to Rite Aid and grab something and come back. But in this case, when this man entered, he stood in front of a stopped air dryer with no bag on the handle, and after checking over his shoulder, he opened the dryer's door and began ruffling through the women's underwear on the inside there. But he had failed. He didn't notice the owner nearby, who is Takuya Yamano. The 60-year-old owner walked up to the younger man and asked, "What are you doing?" And the young guy responded with, none of your concern. I'm not stealing anything." Right. So, of course, suspicious behavior at his place of business is utmost concern to Yamano, and the man himself so quickly bringing up the subject of stealing underwear didn't make him seem any less shady. Yamano said he was going to call the police, which led to a verbal altercation, which turned physical in the laundromat's parking lot, where things got especially crazy. There is video available of this, where it shows Yamano grabbing the man by the arm, attempting to prevent him from leaving the scene before the cops show up. The man then grabs the owner before telling him, "I'll give you money, so let me off. Come on, don't call the police. Let me keep this out of court." Oh boy. Now the owner refuses, and the scuffling keeps on. And this happens for a few minutes, and then somehow the younger guy got away from Yamano and got in his car. Yamano stands in front of the parking lot's exit like, "You are not leaving." You would think this would be a great strategy. But the young man decides to hit the gas, and Yamano ends up on the hood of the SUV as he's driving down the street. This is just true TV shit here now, okay? And Yamano says in an interview, "I just wanted to stop him. He's really going to drive off like this, I thought. It was startling. I only thought things like this happen in TV shows, but they happen in real life too." Wow. Now, he only drove a short distance. The man stopped the car, threw it into reverse, backing down the road quickly enough that Yamano slid off the hood, accelerating away. Luckily, his actions were caught on video by 3 security cameras, and the police were able to examine the videos and identify the car and its owner, Takuya Tomita, who has been arrested and admitted that he is the man seen in the footage. Yamano is being praised for his fast reaction and courage, and judging from his cheerful disposition and post-incident interview as featured in the video that we had described earlier, he doesn't have to suffer any serious injuries. I will say this much: for the majority of people that we talk about on this show that are thieves and so forth, when the cops catch them in the act, they just straight up admit the reason why they did it. Anywho, the last story of the night, Mako-chan.
Yeah. So there is a brand new cocktail out in Japan, and it's a Jack Coke with no mixing required. So in Japanese, certain words, phrases, and item names from foreign languages get shrunken down a bit. For example, Tennessee whiskey brand Jack Daniels is called Jack Daniel, and the cocktail Jack and Coke is just Jack Coke. The abbreviations make the words easier for native Japanese speakers to say, but it also makes the drinks quicker to order. Coming soon, though, it is an even quicker way for fans to get their Jack Coke fix, as Coca-Cola Japan will start selling pre-made Jack and Coke canned cocktails.
We need this here in the States, Coca-Cola, Jack Daniels.
So going on sale next month in Japan is the Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola, which restores the and uses both marquee ingredients' full names. While the Coca-Cola company has sold canned cocktails in Japan before with its Demon Lemon Shochu Sours and Nomiji's Hard Lemonade, this is the company's first time to be offering an alcoholic beverage that uses Coca-Cola Cola and also to feature the brand's name so prominently on its packaging. The Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola is a 7% alcohol cocktail in line with the stronger strata of canned Chuhai sours sold at Japanese convenience stores and supermarkets. It goes on sale April 10th and is priced at 210 yen, which is only $1.55.
Remember when soda used to cost like $1?
I remember when cans of soda cost, 50 cents for a Coke.
Yeah. For me, it was cans were 75 cents and bottles were $1.
Yeah, you can get, especially at the Chinese restaurants, a can of Coke for, 75 cents or $1. And now they're up to, for a freaking can of soda, like $2.50, $3.
And for $1.50, you can get a bucket of the homemade iced tea.
Yeah, except that it's basically the powdered drink mix iced tea. Depending on where you go, that's their quote unquote homemade iced tea.
Yeah, but it comes with a slice of lemon.
Yeah, but that's not homemade.
Well, I know.
Screwed it is when I go to one restaurant and it's actually just cold green tea or cold black tea. And then I go into other restaurants and it's the sickeningly sweet powdered mix shit.
I'm going to tell you right now, restaurant secrets from someone who worked in the service, in my corporeal form. It's definitely just Lipton black tea that has been oversteeped and then sits in the cooler for most of the day until it either sells out or you clean it out.
Yeah.
And see, I don't mind that. I like unsweetened black tea. I do not like the sickeningly sweet powdered crap.
Some places it's a mix. It's the home brew seeped, and then they throw in like a spoonful of like that capful in and mix it up.
See, even that I don't mind because it at least you still have that actual tea flavor. It's just a little bit sweetened. When they just use that the powdered stuff, it's just like it's not what you're expecting, and
yeah, we know, and now that we know, it's time for y'all to know. We're going to wrap up the show, don't you know? All right, let's go ahead and get up on out of here. If you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. We do this for the fun of it. So what we like and don't like, we're just basically telling you that as is. So if you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We are here to believe you. Don't forget to check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find our weekly podcast, anime reviews, editorials, cosplay interviews, cosplay tips and tricks. You'll also find links to our YouTube page of convention videos, our Facebook page of cosplay coverage as well. All that and more at animejamsession.com. And if you like tonight's podcast, you should check out some of our older episodes. If you on your mobile device, you can grab Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything that's for podcasting. Just search Anime Jam Session. Check out some of our older episodes. You might like, you might not, but we appreciate the support either way. And don't forget to follow us on our socials. It's Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow us on all three so you know when we have new episodes available, when we're going live, new articles, and then some. And to everybody who follows us on these socials, thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you. And let's see, what else do we have here? We have our tip jar. So if you're watching live, there's a couple links below to our tip jars for Stream Elements and Ko-Fi if you want to throw us some cold hard cash. And we appreciate that. And if you're also participating, you can also throw bits at us, or you can also subscribe to sub to the channel. If you're listening to the show, you can go to our Twitch page and sub to the channel. And we really appreciate that. All of that goes into keeping the show going. So we're going to go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I am looking forward to actually going to sleep tonight.
Last words, Berry.
Well, it's always fun to be on with you guys, and I am looking forward to getting back into streaming very soon, and I very much appreciate everybody who came to watch and listen to here on Twitch, or come and watch us after on our VODs or other social media. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you later.
My last words is number one, the Sailor Venus Ocean Bomb Mango is my personal favorite. Not just because Sailor Venus is my favorite senshi. Mango is basically one of my favorite beverages. And number two, I should finally be done with the DerpyCon photos tomorrow. Anywho, that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And after that, we'll be telling you about our adventures at ZenkaiCon in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So anywho, I'm Ranma.
I'm Mako-chan.
And I'm BerryMelon.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Yamate.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Oh, that's perfect. Awesome. We are out of here. So we will see you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!